Day 2 of the GB Tech Summit. A group of youngsters paying a visit to the local Justice Center. And 2 nonprofit organizations receiving a much-needed donation.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Grand Bahama Technology Summit is into day 2. Hundreds of industry experts are meeting at the Grand Lucayne Resort to chart the way forward for technology on Grand Bahama and around the world. The Minister of State for Grand Bahama says that he's optimistic that this summit will reap major benefits for this northern island. Megan Shepard reports.
Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, optimistic about this year's Tech Summit. He says that last year's summit produced new partners, businesses, jobs, and opportunities, noting that this year it is estimated that some $500,000 has already been injected into the local economy as a result of the Tech Summit.
Our government is concentrating on the revitalization of Grand Bahama's economy by giving renewed energy to restoring those well-known industries and expanding those newly budding. Though we have not yet fully achieved it, make no mistake about it, full restoration is in our grasp.
Minister Thompson meeting with the press to discuss the potential Grand Bahama has to continue growing into the tech hub of the region.
I think we are just really at the beginning. We are just really touching the surface of really where we could go. We have the nuts and bolts of what we need. We have good infrastructure, we have the location, and we have the raw talent that we can use. And so I think it makes for a good pool that we can put together. We believe that there's high interest when we see the number of investors who really have come to the summit, when we see the number of big tech companies who've come and represented themselves here. We believe that there's so much potential. And so this summit really has been a success just because of the amount of interest that we've had here.
Top tech companies from around the world are now becoming more exposed to the island of Grand Bahama. He says that the message from the government is that this island is open for business and that they are working to make the process as smooth as possible.
We have things like the Commercial Enterprise Act, which streamlines businesses and streamlines the way tech companies can come in and easily do business. We are working on the H-1B visa program. Prime Minister indicated that there's draft legislation which will facilitate those companies who have H-1B visa persons in the U.S. It will facilitate them to and encourage them to come to the Bahamas as an advantage, because if they are having challenges in the U.S. with respect to the H-1B visa, we can then say to them, we are offering a nice place to live, a nice place to work, and we will be able to accommodate you with respect to the BH-1B visa program.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Managing Director of GIBC Digital, Mark Godson, making a presentation at the Tech Summit today during the morning session. Speaking on the topic, 2020 Vision Digital Transformation Plan, he says the future is now, but there are some actions that have to be taken in order to take full advantage of the future and what it holds. Godson says that there are steps that must be taken to transform Grand Bahama into a technology hub, adding that it is imperative that the Ministry of Health implements an enhanced electronic health record system.
This is done through a central database, but this is a major change program because this shifts the real-time capture of data. Currently, the doctor scribbles it down, passes the piece of paper, the admin get it. In a real-time environment like this, it's the clinicians at the patient intervention which need to capture the data. So this changes the dynamics a lot of how the clinician-patient interaction is performed. So a big change program, but lots of benefits. Better clinical diagnosis, better prescriptions, just as 2 starters.
He also focused on the Tech Workforce Initiative.
hub, there are many aspects that have to be put in place. But from my perspective, the key thing you have to put in place is you have to have a capable and equipped, internationally accredited and ready to go technical workforce. Without that, the room will be full of expats doing all these jobs. Yeah? It won't be Bahamas people leading IT. It will be a reliance on overseas expertise, which is the current situation.
Now, the summit will continue tomorrow in the Grand Ballroom at the Grand Lucayan. The Minister of State for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, is expected to give closing remarks tomorrow afternoon. In other news, the importance and advantages of higher learning highlighted by a group of young adults who defied many odds to advance in their education. Sabrina Brown reports.
24-year-old Makia Cephas, a cancer survivor, says she had many challenges while trying to obtain a college degree, but she says she realized the significance of higher learning, and so she persevered and is now pursuing an associate's degree in medical lab technology at Tarif College.
It's a difference between working and having a career, and I feel as though when you have a career, you do stuff passionately. You're more passionate about what it is you're doing as opposed to just working because you have to do.
Jamal Fraser works in the financial sector. He says obtaining a GED from Tarif has helped him greatly in charting the way forward for his career.
Having this document, it livens up your self-esteem, as to say, whereas you're more confident in speaking with people, as to say, okay, I can present this now. To go on an interview, I don't just not have this document as to say I'm going off a favor. I have something to present to the employer now.
Now a senior finance clerk, Tracy Cooper Clinton says that having an associate's degree in accounting is paying off.
I learned to flow in my work much more easier, much more smoother. I learned the technique of communication and listening. And because of it, it made me go through promotion after promotion because of it. So yeah, Tarif really helped, and the degree helped me even more.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
A youth organization continuing its efforts towards nation building. In this report, Megan Shepard tells us that a group of young rangers visited the local justice center and were given a vital lesson on being law-abiding citizens.
District Senior Rates Petty Officer Leonard Coakley says that the visit to the Garnet Lavarity Justice Center was all about giving the Rangers real-life experience.
The Rangers is a program that really takes their initiative serious, especially on the motto of discipline, dedication, and determination. And so we want to just expose our Rangers at the highest and to the fullest. We just want to maximize their potential as young leaders coming up.
Rangers Claude Vilborn and Taria Roberts say it was an eye-opening experience, having a first-hand tour of the courts and being able to speak one-on-one with President of the Industrial Tribunal, Helen Jones.
We came here and they gave us a tour of the cell block. We were in the magistrate at first, now we came over here. And she gave us a little pointers about how the court system works and the law, and that just basically anything you can get accused of and charged for in the court.
We saw two courts, the Magistrate and Supreme Court. We learned many things, asked many questions about drugs, serious crimes. We learned about the four courts, the Courts of Appeal, the Magistrate, the Supreme, and many other things.
The Rangers were also allowed to act out a real case scenario where they portrayed a judge, witness, lawyer, defendant, and other positions. Robert says she enjoyed playing this role.
The experience of acting out a real court case was very interesting. It was a lot of twists and turns. We learned a lot of new things. We learned about how we could, if I was ever able to become a judge or a lawyer, how I could prosecute the witness or the defendant.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.